Making sense is our motto in UNordic. My name is Lars Utstøl. I am the project leader of UNordic. Making common sense is our motto. What we focus on first of all is the communities all over in the Nordic countries. The small communities, the bigger communities. How can we serve these communities with better education, with more education, and so on. So we start with looking at the common needs, because the needs are common around in communities. And what we focus on is to organize the needs so we can focus on the other dimension in our work. And the other dimension is resources. How can we organize the resources better? Universities, open educational resources, and experts. How can we organize the resources in a way that we free up capacity to serve the needs, the community needs? So focus on the common resources we have. We have a lot of resources we can share and we can cultivate in a better way. So focusing on the community and the needs, focusing on the resources, and bringing this together will give us a common solution. Bringing communities and the resources together in one big network, one big cooperation, is a common solution for many of our challenges in the Nordic countries. I want to illustrate what we're doing in the Nordic in two concepts. The first concept is teacher training. And what we see when we look at how we are today running further education of teachers in Norway, for instance, is that a few teachers get an offer to take further education, and they travel around to a capital or the big city and to the universities and take this education, and when they finish the course, they come back to the school, to the colleagues, and the education is not grounded good enough. So the Norwegian system and the Swedish system is doing a great job in further educated teachers. But our point is that we have to ground the competence building in the schools at the schools, because we have to bring in all the whole colleague into this work, and we have to link the theory, the practice better together in a way that's bringing the whole school into the work, into the building of new competence. So this model, this concept is focusing on this dimension of teacher and kids, the school. So we have to link the competence work, the further education better between teachers and the practice, the kids in the school. So a course is not a course, it's a building of competence in the school, building a competence in each teacher and in the team of teachers. So linking the theory with the field of practice in the school is very important. And this loop is also important in that way, that we bring in the experience into the course, back to the course. So what we see here is a model that teachers are taking a course, a further education, focusing on the theory, building new competence. They practice the new competence every week, and they bring in the experience from that practice back to the course. This loop is a kind of learning loop for the teacher at the schools. So theory in the course, the practice field. And again, when we establish an arena for practice, led by the universities, of course, we also stimulate the integration of the new competence into the schools and into the team of teachers. So it's an organic way to integrate the learning, the new competence that the teacher is from the course. And again, we bring in the experience back to the course, experience from the practice field. And of course, if every course, every competence building project in the school is anchoring at the school and organized at each school, we have to build a network around the school, each small schools, bigger schools, and so on, throughout Norway, throughout Sweden, throughout the Nordic countries. So we put the best universities into this environment. Of course, we bring in other schools because it's very important to share experience, share knowledge between schools. So other schools into this network. So, and of course, research and experts and so on. So this is the new environment for further educate the teachers. A big network where we put in the best resources into each schools, and we build the relationships between schools and academia. And we build this strong link between theory and practice. And the course itself is we have a blended approach, so it's much dialogue, it's much focus in working together with case, create practice experience for the kids, and bring the experience back to the course, the other schools and university, and so on and so on. Here we see the transparent environment between universities and each school in this model. And here we see the network of schools and university college in one theme, for instance, mathematics or reading or whatever it could be. So that was the first concept. The second concept I want to talk about to illustrate how we work in UNordic is our new blended model of learning. And what is important there is the analysts that tell us that language is very important in the future of learning, because what is focusing on now is kind of massive learning concepts, and that's great. But what we need also is a focus on mother tongue and the language in the learning process. We believe that language and using our own mother tongue in the learning is very, very important. We're talking here about quality in learning. So we want every student to have the opportunity to use their own mother tongue in critical part of the learning. The dialogue, the writings, and so on and so on. So what we focus on this new model is that we are scaling on content. That means that texts, lectures, we bring out that in English. The students can translate it whenever they want. When we run live seminars or seminars between students and universities, we are more focused in the dialogue between students, working together with cases, working together with the teachers, and so on and so on. And we use coaching approach. We use coachers in this program, so we can bring in a big group of students and then split them up in a smaller group in different language, and then bring them together in English, for instance. So this is a new approach, and we want it to be an approach in every educational program that we work with. One of the main challenges every community meet when they try to have a dialogue with the university of delivering a program or a course is that the answer is usually we don't have the capacity to do that. So we have to work with the capacity to free up capacity for in the universities to cooperate with communities. That's a very important key here. So the way we do it in UNordic is we scale when we can scale. We scale on content. We use English as a common language in content. And that means that students can translate that, auto-translate that content. But we're focusing, on the other hand, on dialogue environment. And that dialogue environment should happen in a mother tongue and led by coaches, led by teachers, and so on. And that we will blend the concept into work, culture, language, and community. That means also that we bring in communities, bring in enterprises into the education. In the case, working with the case, and so on and so on. So blended for us is not only how we blend to different aspects of learning, is also blended to the culture where we deliver the education, the language, the community, the enterprises, and so on. And we all want to free up resources to work more with that, and less with the content. Therefore, we are working with scale on content and focusing on dialogue environment. And then what is very important for UNordic is Nordic spirit. It's very, very important. We have a fantastic educational system in the Nordic countries. Free education, a culture of learning, a culture of look upon education as a part of building a democracy, a society, building social welfare, building a strong economy with strong enterprises, and so on. That's something we want to build on. And we are open for new partners. For communities throughout the Nordic countries, universities throughout the Nordic countries, and projects. There's many great projects all over the Nordic countries. So join us. It's a great way to work with education and developing of communities all over. So UNordic is a way of sharing resources and programs, free up capacity so we can work more with communities, users, universities. But we are also innovations teams, people who work together to develop a kind of next generation of learning. And we build on the Nordic spirit, the best of the Nordic tradition in education. My name is Lars Utstøl. I'm the project leader of UNordic. You can follow some links on the page, and we are here. So welcome to us. Thank you very much.